I want you to take a little bit of time with the people at your table to draw and write what you think PLTW is going to be like this year.
Chelsea Greer doesn't want her daughter to follow in her footsteps.
Hey, I like this teamwork.
As a public school teacher in Windham, Connecticut, and mother of two, money is tight.
I have an almost 5-year-old that loves school, but when she tells us that she wants to grow up and be a teacher, there's a part of my husband and I that, we cringe because we don't want her to feel the same stress. But at the same time, we know the value that comes from this profession. Please bring your posters to the front of the room, please.
Though she loves her job, it's landed her with tens of thousands of dollars of student loan debt.
So how much did you end up owing for your master's to be able to teach in the state of Connecticut?
So I took out $86,000 worth of student loans to become a teacher.
I think we can all agree we don't like the system. It's not working that well for anybody.
What are you going to do? Are you going to ask your family not to buy groceries this week so that you can cover your student loan payment?
It's a crisis that has been steadily growing for decades. Hardworking Americans mired in debt that they have to pay off after graduating from college, only made worse by rising prices. Today, the latest inflation report showing an 8.3% increase, worse than expected. To date, Americans have racked up a staggering $1.7 trillion of student debt. While the price of tuition has spiked 169% in the last 4 decades, wages for young workers have not kept up. But relief for some could be just a few weeks away.
We will forgive $10,000 in outstanding federal student loans.
President Biden recently announcing a plan that could impact up to 43 million borrowers.
Here's what my administration is going to do: to provide more breathing room for people so they have less burdened by student debt.
Starting next month, borrowers who qualify can apply for $10,000 in debt forgiveness and $20,000 for those who received Pell Grants, a type of aid for the country's lowest income students. It applies to Americans making less than $125,000 per year and couples making under $250,000.
I think the student loan plan put forward by the Biden administration is a good first step. It sounds very cliche to say, but is the case. But we cannot rely on the executive branch alone to fix college affordability. The Congress will have to be involved, as well as state governments.
Chelsea is just one of millions of Americans who stand to benefit from the plan. But for her, it's not enough.
I was hoping for more. I was looking at my loan balance. I think $10,000 is a drop in the bucket.
She says she has spent as much as $900 per month to pay off her loans, more than half her paycheck.
And how has it changed your lives?
It's definitely impacted almost every decision that we make financially. We knew that purchasing a home was not in the cards for us, that paying student loans was, we were making payments that were equal to mortgages. When we did decide to start a family, we waited a little bit for that.
The plan has sparked strong reactions across the country, some celebrating it, others questioning its timing, coming just about 2 months ahead of midterms.
It's a vote getter, I believe, to tell you the truth. It's perfect timing.
I decided to go back to school and I decided to take out that loan, so I should have to pay it back. It's being responsible.
Now you've got somebody who did take out a student loan who says, why should I have to pay for it if somebody else is willing to take up the slack?
While Democratic lawmakers largely support the plan, some think it doesn't go far enough. And a number of candidates in tough midterm races were quick to criticize it. Just this week, 22 GOP governors sent a letter to the president urging him to withdraw the plan. It has also faced strong backlash from Republicans in the nation's capital.
What you're saying here to a whole lot of people in this country is go ahead, take out loans, don't worry about it. We'll just write it off when the time comes.
While Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said the plan was a slap in the face, adding President Biden's inflation is crushing working families, and his answer is to give away even more government money to elites with higher salaries. But the numbers paint a different picture.
When trying to decide whether you like it or you don't like it, it's not about the economy. It's not about jobs. It's not about GDP. It's not about inflation. Those things aren't going to be affected in any meaningful way.
I was always told that education is so important, and I believed that, and so I went to college.
Sabrina Calazans, the daughter of Brazilian immigrants, dreamed of being the first in her family to go to college.
I had a wonderful experience, but after leaving is when I had a real shock when I saw how much I had to pay each month.
Paying for college is a family affair for the Calazans. Sabrina has loans, so does her sister, and their parents took out loans on the girls' behalf. For all of them, collectively, $50,000 could be forgiven.
How did you feel when this program was finally announced?
A lot of conversations in my family is about, what are we going to do in the future? Are my parents going to be able to retire? Am I going to be able to move out? Are we going to be able to buy a home? And now I feel like that reality is possible, and there's finally light at the end of the tunnel.
Who went to Arcadia.
After seeing how debt affected her family, Sabrina was inspired to become an advocate, joining the Student Debt Crisis Center.
Student loan borrowers are working harder than anyone I know. No one in America should have to work multiple jobs so that they can pay for their rent and to pay for student loan payments. That shouldn't be an issue. We must continue to fight for borrowers.
She's taken the fight all the way to Washington, advocating for those most affected by student loans: women, who hold 2/3 of the nation's student debt, and people of color.
Student loan debt crisis is more than just a financial or economic crisis. It's a moral justice issue. It's a gender issue. It's a racial equity issue. It's a mental health crisis as well.
And according to the Brookings Institution, when they graduate, Black borrowers owe $7,400 more than white borrowers. That gap jumps to $25,000 just a few years after graduation.
A lot of that is driven by labor market discrimination. So Black students, or Black borrowers, I guess, earning less than their peers with the same degrees, with the same job titles.
Though President Biden's plan will help many, the issue of college affordability remains.
It helps those folks, those people who borrowed a lot of money to get their degree or go to school, in recent years, but it does nothing about the future.
Different groups have done this different ways.
A future Chelsea worries about.
One big poster. I look at my students that come into my class and I think, where would they be with $80,000 of student loan debt? What's that going to do to them just so they can be a teacher? And some of them would be amazing teachers, and they have so much to give. I like it. I might keep your poster hanging up. It's my favorite one.
So much to give, and a lifetime of dreams ahead of them, but facing a broken system.
It's unfair that I grew up believing that I had to go to college in order to be successful. And now as a teacher and as a parent, I don't preach that same message. I don't tell my students or my own kids that college is definitely the answer.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.